Y'all, I almost quit my farm stand. When I tell you, just like Murphy's Law, whatever happened can happen, it was just a hot mess express this past week. Come along so I can tell you guys what happened.
THK, yeah, we do it our way. Homestead dreams with a little sass way. It's the homesteading Kontessa. Come on, take a peek. THK.
Good morning, sunflowers. It is the 4th of July. I didn't open my farm stand today because I've been in a funk, y'all. It was just one of those things to where nothing was going right. I couldn't get anything to cooperate. I was making like cookies, and I think we all hold ourselves to some type of standard of how we want things done, and I truly couldn't get it right yesterday. I just couldn't get it right on bake day. So like I was baking, I did something called kitchen sink cookies, and they just, you know how you picture how you think something should look and how something should be, and it just wasn't what I expected. The taste, it was there, but you know, I'm a visual eater, and I think we most are. We see things with our eyes first, and then, you know, if it doesn't look appealing, it doesn't look appealing. Like my son said, they was delicious. So, but if it's not up to what I want it to be, it just, you know, I wasn't even feeling that great anyway. Like health-wise, yes. I just wasn't in a mood, I guess. I had made Coca-Cola cake. The Coca-Cola cake, it tastes delicious. That did. But I kept messing up on my frosting. So I ended up sending my son to the store and then just buying some regular chocolate frosting, melting it, putting it on there. Since I messed up the first frosting, I think I put too much powdered sugar in it, in the chocolate mix, and then I ended up having those little white clumps. So I tried to scoop that up. So when I poured the chocolate over there, it was like sinking in like the clumps. It was just a hot mess express. So I was just like, My cinnamon rolls came out the oven. Even my cinnamon rolls, and I'm normally really good at that, they were a hot mess express. I taste them because I always pay the baker tax, and I taste a little bit just to see if everything is everything. And when I tell you that I took them cinnamon rolls and I balled them up, I balled every last one of them up. I was pissed, y'all. So I said, you know what? I quit. I'm not doing the farm stand no more. I can't stand it. Because at this point, I had already threw cookies away in the morning time from a fail. And then I was about to throw these away, but my son was like, he wanted some. So I didn't throw them away. And then my husband, he heard me say I was going to quit. And he was just like, oh, you just had one bad day. Like, don't make a decision because you mad. And I'm like, I quit. So I just told myself, well, I'm not going to open today because my heart wasn't in it. And like the anniversary of my mom's death was July 2nd. And it's been 11 years since she has passed. And I normally, you know, sometimes a year pass by, you know, you lose a loved one and you're okay, and then others you're not. So I ended up going over somebody's house that stayed like in this neighborhood that I pretty much was raised in. And but they didn't stay in the neighborhood, but they stayed close. So I had to go through the old neighborhood. So I was like seeing all my mom's old stomping grounds. I saw this tree at our old house that me and my mom planted when I was in elementary, and I just got emotional, and I kind of been in a funk ever since, to be honest. So I guess it's just, you know, I'm a passionate baker when I do bake. Baking is not my craft. That's not what I do. That's not something that I want to be known for. If I do be known for it, that's just by accident. That's not like, you know how some people are bakers and they take that stuff seriously and it's a whole career. No, for me, it's all homesteading fun, part of the process, part of homesteading, cooking up your own things, making things from scratch. That's all it is for me. So You know, when they say cook with love, I actually cook with love and bake with love. And it wasn't happening because I was in a bad mood. So I didn't even realize I was in a bad mood. And then I started feeling like, dang, I'm feeling like I could be a little depressed. So I just wasn't feeling it. I went to bed kind of mad, and I just wasn't in the mood. And I had already planned today to be nothing, which is terrible. I said to myself, I'm not doing nothing. I said, I'm going to lay in bed all day. This is what I told myself yesterday, because that's how mad I was. And as you see, I'm not in bed. I'm about to collect some eggs. I just, everything ain't always a good day, but every day is a blessed day. If you're above ground and your eyes open, you can see. Even if you can't see, if you're breathing, then it's a good day. So, I just, had to dip out that phone, Y'all, this plant over here is doing so good. Look at it. So I think I know what it is. I think it's a pumpkin patch, y'all. And the reason why I think this is a pumpkin patch is because when I was thinking, how could, I hear all the time, accidental seeds, accidental plant. I remember last year I bought my chickens a pumpkin from Tractor Supply, and I put it out here in the backyard, and I poked a few holes in it so they can start pecking at it and eating it. So they probably took some of those, put the pulp out the pumpkin and seeds, and probably, they were running all around the yard. And I'm thinking that's what happened because over here is that big plant. Let me turn the camera around. Over here is one of the plants, and then another one started growing right there. So I'm thinking that's what it is, because in that area it's like rocky and not really too much grass, so we don't really cut over there. It's dirt underneath there. So, but over here where I had the pumpkin, there's grass, so we cut it up. So it probably was seeds there too that could have grew like a patch, but we mowed it down. So yeah, I think that's what it is, y'all. I think this is gonna be a pumpkin patch. I've been taking care of it, trying to see if it's gonna grow, and we will find out very soon, I guess. It'll be right in time because we're in July, and then it basically nature just took its course. A seed stayed in the ground, germinated on its own. Promise you, I didn't lay nothing over there. So if I could just make sure that nobody cuts it. Somebody cut that was intentional. But yeah, I'm gonna collect my eggs, guys. I'll pick y'all back up probably sometime today. When you see this video, it'll be Wednesday. That's my new post day. I want to pick up on posting more, but right now I'm trying to just stay consistent with a date. That way, all my loyal subscribers can have some content here from Charm Farm. Oh, this chicken coop hot, y'all. So it looks like I got 6 eggs. One is over here. They were laying over here too. So, but yeah, let me go ahead and collect.
Country roots run deep and I'm chasing my scene. Welcome to my life and my one naked dream. Born and raised in Pleasant Grove, country roots run deep. Heart of a nurturer, working hard, never missing a beat. Got a vision in my spirit, something steady in my stride. Holding tight to homestead dreams with my family by my side. 1 acre's all I need to let my story unfold. But if life brings me more, I'll receive it with soul. I'm building up a foundation for my family every day. Coffee brewing in the morning, warm biscuits on the way. Hear my babies in the kitchen, laughing, talking, everything. I'm working toward my homestead dream till that dream's a real life thing. Yeah, family growing stronger, every chapter feels brand new. Learning from the journey with a purpose I hold true.
All right, sunflowers. It is Sunday my time. And I'm feeling so much better than I was yesterday. When I tell you guys I was ready to quit my farm stand and just give it up, because I just feel like I tried so hard. And, not only do I try, I pray. And I'm never going to give up on prayer. I'm always going to pray. But I feel like I try so hard and I come up short. I always feel like I get the short end of the stick sometimes. And I feel like I have to work 3 times hard as the person that's competing against me. And I feel like the odds are always against me. And I don't like feeling like that. I'm just being real honest with you guys. I don't want to get on here and be like, oh, everything is hunky-dory and everything is all fine and good. It's not always. It's a battle. And I just, Friday night leading to Saturday, I really went through it, and it came out of nowhere. As far as me expecting that, I didn't expect to feel like that. Maybe it's been hiding underneath, sometimes we can do fake smiles and pretend like we're happy about things, and then when truly we not, some things that, you just don't share with people. You battle things. People are battling so much in private that you wouldn't, you just look at somebody, you think they're okay, but then truly they're not. You never know what your neighbor's going through right now. I don't know what you're going through right now. And that's why I always say at the end of my videos to be kind to each other, because you just never know what one kind word you can say to someone that can just shift their whole mood, or their one bad word that you can say to them that can just make them feel like, you know what, this is it. I'm not doing it anymore. I don't know, y'all. I just took me a shower and did my skincare routine. I'm not sweating. This is my rose oil that I use on my face. It keeps me all, it keeps me not looking like what I'm going through. And I just read something. What was it on? I was on Google trying to check my book sales. And you know how you get on Google to show you different stories, like before you search whatever you're searching. And I saw where this DoorDasher shot and killed a Amazon worker because the Amazon worker was making fun of his height. I don't know if you guys heard that story. It was an Amazon worker. I guess he was a janitor, it said on the story. And maybe the DoorDasher was delivering food. It was at nighttime. Maybe one of the workers ordered some food. He came in to deliver some food. The guy was cracking jokes about him. Why? Being ugly. Rest his soul. I don't, and this is just allegedly of what I read on the newspaper article. I do not claim to know this story. I don't claim to know this story 100%. I'm just saying what I've read. And of course, no one deserves to die or get shot. And it just goes to show you that you just never know who you're talking to. Not everybody's wrapped too tight. For him to shoot someone because of some jokes about his height. I know at work, we did a training called microaggression. And in that training, it had all these bodies. It had like 3 or 4 bodies. And then it was showing how, the first body, you make the comment, like, let's just make up something. Oh, when you gonna have some kids, and then it showed a dot on that body of the first comment of when you're gonna have some kids. And then the second body, here comes somebody else on a different day, maybe a different month, saying, oh, you're in your late 20s, early 30s, girl, when you gonna have some kids, time catching up with you. That's another ding on the body. So there's another dot on the body. The first one was just, maybe it was just like took your breath away. But then the second ding, that kind of like, I felt that one. So then the third body, maybe this woman went to her parents' house, when you gonna give me some grandkids? So that's the third one. You know, you can tap somebody on the shoulder and it don't hurt, but if you keep on tapping them constantly, it's gonna get sore. So those dings represent different people saying the same thing in different ways to this one person, and this one person just, taking it all in, taking it all in. So by the time you get to the fourth body, you got all these dings. And then maybe this person explode on that one person who did not mean any harm, but they don't know the microaggression of this person going through somebody constantly saying something. You can be doing something absentmindedly. I grew up where the old folks or your kin folks, they would say stuff like, to me, to everybody, ooh, girl, you picking up some weight, or ooh, you getting a little big, get a little healthy. And they don't see nothing wrong with it, and they love you and they don't think nothing is wrong with that because that's how they grew up. And then that's what people say, it's a culture thing. But you don't know what this person that you're saying it to feels about themselves. They may have some self-esteem problems. They may feel like, oh, I just don't want to live anymore because the way I look or whatever. And then here you go making this lighthearted comment to a person. And I'm going to say lighthearted because I'm thinking that the people who are saying these things, not everybody is trying to be malicious. And one thing I've learned as my older adult life is that you have to be careful what you say to people. I try my best to be sensitive to people's needs and to people's wants and to people's concerns. I'm a work in progress. I don't always rise to the occasion. And, because I have been disrespected in my time. Somebody have tried to say things about me. I have said things about them. I've dinged some people. People done dinged me, But the overall picture is that I grew from that stage of my life. I'm not that person who goes out and intentionally tries to hurt people. And, it's just one of those things. I know I'm going on and on about it, but you may be a person right now, you going through something and nobody knows, you're the strong one of the family. When you're the strong person, nobody seems to think that you ever need anything or that they just think you're okay because you're the person that always checking on them. You're the person who calls people to make sure that it don't go a long time before you talk to them again. So if you're that person, I understand you. I understand because I'm the strong person of my family. And I feel like there's some people in my life, never ever hear from them again, because it's just, people are busy and, not everybody is, trying to be rude. And I get it because I don't call people all the time, but I do make my rounds of my closely circle of family and friends that I do care about dearly. And then I make sure they're good and that I call them and not be a stranger to them. Because, at a few years back, I wouldn't even reach out to some of my family members. And it wasn't because I didn't love them. It was just because I was just too busy with life. They were busy with life. And then when we saw each other, it was not a day missed, But as far as actually trying to, I just feel like I wish we could go back. And I'm not just saying me and my family, but people, period, where we had a time to where we made more time for each other. I feel like people nowadays don't make time for each other. Like my dad's generation, they do. They keep up with each other. It's our generation. I'm a millennial, so they kind of tell you my generation age. Millennial on down. I feel like, and this is my opinion, that I feel like we just make time for friends rather than our families, And sometimes you may have a situation where your family is not somebody that you just really need to spend time with. If that's the case, do you, I get it. But, if you do have a family member that you're good with, just make sure you reach out to them. Call them, check on them, make a time to go visit them, go hang out with them. But y'all, I have let's change the temperature of this conversation. I think y'all get what I'm saying. You know, we just got to do better. We have to do better. I have to do better. We all just need to do better in some type of way. We all can look in that mirror and find some room for improvement. Guys, I'm just trying to figure things out and stay encouraged. I pray every day. I'm going to continue to pray. Sometimes when you want something so bad, it's like you just go, I don't know if you just go through the emotions where you feel like, well, for me, I feel like, dang, am I wasting my time? It's just a little empty dream that's just never going to happen. And I got to get that negative thinking out the way. I got to get that negative viewpoint out my vision. Some things I've been working on to move forward towards my goals. I revamped my website, the Homesteading Kontessa is on Etsy. I did all my descriptions over. I just kind of did like a makeup for my page. It had been sitting there with the same style, and just like businesses, you'll see major chains all the time kind of spruce up the look just to keep their customers, satisfied. And I also got some exciting stuff that's going to be new for the farm stand, so I'm really excited about that. I just gotta keep myself, encouraged, and even if I feel like I did, Friday, I just got to fight past it, because ultimately I know this is a lifestyle I love. I'm already doing it from where I am. Even though I was thinking about quitting the farm stand, I wasn't going to quit the lifestyle, just the farm stand. Just because I had a little tantrum, because I couldn't get things right that day. But it did give me time to sit back, reflect, and just go back to the drawing board. Sometimes if something don't work out, don't force it. Don't force it. Take a pause if you need to take a pause, or just exit out completely off your list to not do it. So I am looking into like this I think it's called a USDA loan for like first time homeowners that's trying to get a home in a rural area. So I am making strides and doing things to move forward while I'm homesteading from where I am. The garden's doing amazing. Tomatoes look great. This too shall pass. This move that I'm in, it shall pass. And I just hope that anybody that's watching this, if you're going through something, just know we all go through stuff. Some of us share it, some of us don't. I was kind of iffy about sharing it with you guys, but then I said, you know what, I'm gonna be transparent and honest. Then just go ahead and just be honest with it. There's people that I know that I deal with that watch my videos, and this really makes me vulnerable because it puts me out there, and it lets people in my life to where they don't see this put together person that I display every day. So they see a person who has weaknesses, a person who does hurt, who does get sad. You got the love that I want. Don't laugh at my singing, y'all. You got the love that I need. Boy, it's so smooth and so creamy. You got that butter love. Why am I singing Butter Love by Next? Because today, y'all, we're going to be making some butter, homemade butter from the Homesteading Kontessa. So, guys, it is Tuesday, and today I will be making some homemade butter. Now, I made it only one other time, and it came out good, but it could have been better. So I'm going to try my hand at it again. All you need is some heavy cream, some salt if you're doing a plain butter, and you don't have to have a mold, but I will be using some heavy cream. I'll be using this mold right here. This is the lid to my mold, and I put it in the refrigerator to stiffen up, and some cheesecloths. So the cheesecloth, that's what you use to wring out all the buttermilk and you save the buttermilk. You don't want to discard that. Everything you use. So this is my first time having some cheesecloth. Ooh, I feel like I'm homesteading for real. I've been homesteading, but you know, when I get a new gadget or something new, I just feel so official. So yeah, I will be making butter. This is not a big old thing of butter, heavy cream, so we'll see how much it makes. It may not fill up all 4 trays, but we know butter is expensive. It's like $5, and this is only a couple, like about $3 some. And with this, I'll get buttermilk and butter, so 2 for 1. So while I'm making butter, I do got some brownies in the oven, and when I tell you, it smells delicious. I had a long day at work, but that day is over, so I'm ready to just relax and unwind. And I'm gonna have me some brownies when they finish. So, all right, guys. So let me check on my brownies. I don't want them to burn while I'm making butter. Ooh. Look at those, y'all. Yummy. It smells so good. Let me do the toothpick test and make sure that the center is good. You know, you can stick a fork or a toothpick, and they say if it come out clean, then it is done. I always stick several spots, and that, my friends, is a clean toothpick. So I'll let that cool. Ooh, it smells so good in here. You should smell it. So this is my blender I'm going to be using, and because my family won't let me be great, I don't know where the top is. We do got the top, but then they the middle part is missing, so we just gonna do this number right here. So now I'm gonna just pour this mixture in here. I think I might get 1.5 sticks with this. Next time I'm gonna get a bigger one. And that way I can make several kinds. Because this time I'm just gonna do a regular butter, but next time I'm going to do maybe like some type of garlic and herb or a rosemary butter. So I'm just gonna press blend for 5 minutes. I'm saying it now because once I start, you won't be able to hear me. Okay guys, so now I'm just gonna take all of this separated mixture of buttermilk and butter. Goes in my cheesecloth. We want all that goodness because I want to make as many sticks as I can with that mini heavy cream that I got. Mixture. So now you want to take it and you want to squeeze all that buttermilk out. And so I got me a mason jar and I'm going to strain this liquid that got a little bit of clumps in it. And this right here is my buttermilk. So we're going to strain that slowly. Let me put that in deeper. Pour that in there, like tap the brown side, like so, like that. Then we can use that with some macaroni, some cornbread. And just strain all that buttermilk. Look, I'm wasting. All right. Got that much buttermilk, that's not bad. Not too shabby, right? Let me clean up my mess. And then we'll show you the butter process. I'm gonna add some salt for flavor. You don't have to add salt if you're like trying to cut back on salt, which I am cutting back on salt, but you know, I want a little salt in my butter. You know, they have unsalted butter and then they have salted butter. This butter is just going to be used not for my baking, so I'm okay with it being a little salt. But in future, when I make some butter again, I'm going to make sure that I don't use salt in it. And like with this recipe, it's so easy. You can buy you a churner, and I've seen those on Amazon. Those churners cost about $34 to $40, and who wasn't paying for that was me. So homesteading is about reusing. But yeah, hold on y'all, hold on. Seen a fly here and I'm like, let me cover these brownies. But homesteading for me and for a lot of homesteaders, we try to, you know, save and reuse and, you know, make things cheaper for us. So you should try it. Look at that. This is buttermilk from the Homesteading Kontessa. Ain't that cute? So I'll use that. I'll write on here in Sharpie buttermilk. Let me go ahead and do that now. And I put the butter in the refrigerator. I'm about to take it out so I can put it in the mold. So and today is 7/7/26. We'll use this sometime this week. But yeah, buttermilk. And it'll just go in the refrigerator. So who lied and told y'all they gonna make a stick and a half? This like it's only gonna make one. So, do I want to add salt? You know what? I'm not gonna add salt. I'm just gonna take my butter mixture. And I'll load one of the middle trays up. So all I'm doing is loading this tray up, taking the butter from my cheesecloth and loading it up. And mind you guys, you know, heavy cream, you use it in your coffee. You can make whipped cream, you can make butter. you can make buttermilk, as you see. So all of that for the price you pay for your butter. It doesn't have to be a name brand heavy cream. You can use Great Value. I actually prefer Great Value because I need cheap, but sometimes the brands be cheaper than Great Value. So I'm just load my butter stick up. Ooh, it look like butter, y'all, because it is butter. And I know it ain't no added preservatives and stuff in it. If I was doing natural preservatives, it would be salt. All right. So we got butter. Let me clean that up. I still got a little butter right there. I'm gonna just smooth that on the top. So we can have a nice solid piece. So now I know if I want to fill up this tray of 4 butter sticks, I need to make sure that I get the bigger container. And then I would have to use a bigger jar for my mason jar because that means more buttermilk. Because like I said, nothing goes to waste. Let's take a moment for that again. Look at that, y'all. So what happens now, you can eat it like this right now if you wanted to, and it'll be like a spread. Or you can do like what I just did, put the top on there. I'm going to put this in the refrigerator and let it get solid, and then I'll show you guys how it look when it come out. So it's time for the big reveal. So I just took it out. I promise you this is the first time I'm opening with you guys. All right. They probably could use a little more time. Let me flop it out there. Okay. Yeah, they probably can use a little more time. But look, we got butter. So I'll let it stay in there a little longer. It could firm up some more. It's not the perfect looking piece, but hey, it's this is gonna go in my little dish I'm gonna use for my butter. And we got homemade butter. Look at that, let's look closer. So it turns yellow when you're mixing it up in a blender. Once it starts reaching that clumping stage, it'll like start changing from white to yellow. And I'm used to that color change because when I do shea butter, when I'm making my whipped body butters, it also do like that color change. It'll you'll whip it up, and then you can even melt it, and it'll be complete liquid, and then it whips up into a solid. So and as it starts to do that, it'll change colors. So I'm proud of this butter. I made it for my family, and you know, when you make something for your family, it's just always something good. But sunflowers, I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you made it this far, don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. Like this video, comment. They have a hype button on there. If you see it, hype me up. Hype me up. But yes, so that way you guys can continue to see my content. I am doing like videos every Wednesday, so I hope you come in and stay tuned. And till then, until the next video, I want you to be kind to each other and don't be a stranger. Bye.